Welcome to Decoding Ancient Technologies, where every ruin tells a story. Today, we confront the ultimate question. HOW, did they build it?
You are standing on the Giza Plateau. The massive blocks eclipse the sun, casting a perfect mathematical shadow.
Do you ever wonder if impossible is just a word we use for a technology we were never meant to understand?
So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if you find the journey we're about to take a worthy one.
Let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and which ancient structure makes you question everything.
Now, let's journey back and deconstruct the narrative of a lost world. Ignore the official story of tombs for just a moment. Use your own eyes, your own hands.
You're approaching the Tura limestone casing stones that once covered the Great Pyramid.
Most are gone, but the few that remain tell an astonishing story. These 15-ton blocks are fitted with optical precision. The joints are nearly invisible.
So tight you cannot fit a human hair between them. Egyptologists say they were dressed with copper chisels and stone pounders.
But ask yourself, can you create flat planes accurate to 1/1000th of an inch? Over thousands of square feet with a hammer?
Now, move inside. You are in the king's chamber, a box of pure red granite.
Reading. You are deep inside an artificial mountain of 6 million tons of stone.
The air is deathly silent.
The granite beams above your head, each weighing 70 tons, were lifted 200 feet in the air and placed with millimeter accuracy.
This is the non-human paradox. Modern engineers and geologists, people who understand the most scale of hardness,
Will tell you that copper cannot cut granite. It is like trying to saw steel with a butter knife.
Look at the granite artifacts, like the coffer in the king's chamber.
It is too large to have passed through the doorway. It had to be placed as the chamber was being built. But more incredibly, its internal corners are cut with a precision that even modern machinery would struggle with.
theorists, like engineer Christopher Dunn, have pointed to evidence of tool marks.
That suggest drill feed rates hundreds of times faster than our own modern diamond drills. They didn't chip this stone, they machined it.
This is not the work of Bronze Age laborers. This is the product of an advanced, industrial process.
You are touching the evidence of a lost technology, one that could shape hard granite as if it were soft clay.
That precision wasn't just for show. It wasn't about pleasing a pharaoh. You're realizing that if you have technology capable of machining granite,
To microscopic tolerances, you don't use it to build a simple monument. You use it to build something that lasts.
You use it to encode information.
You pull back from the cold stone and look at the entire Giza complex from above. The three main pyramids are not placed randomly. You've heard the theory, the Orion correlation. Robert Bauval and other researchers who dared to look past the mainstream narrative
Noted that the three pyramids perfectly mirror the size, layout, and brightness of the three stars in Orion's belt. But it's more than that. The layout on the ground is a precise map of the stars as they would have appeared in the sky.
Not 4,500 years ago, but over 12,000 years ago. at the dawn of a previous age.
This isn't just alignment, it's a timestamp. A message pointing to a time far more ancient than we are told.
But the true code, the cosmic blueprint, is embedded in its very location. The Great Pyramid is aligned to true north with an accuracy of within 3/60 of a degree.
This is a precision we only achieved with satellites. They didn't have GPS. They didn't have compasses.
This suggests a total command of geodesy, the science of the Earth's geometry, or a perspective from above the Earth.
And then there is the impossible number. Physicists and data analysts
The precise coordinates of the Great Pyramid are 29.9792458 degrees Santon. Does that number look familiar?
The speed of light in a vacuum is 299,792,458 meters per second.
You have to let that sink in.
Coordinates of their most important structure. This is the cosmic code. This isn't a coincidence. This is a message. It's a declaration that the builders
understood the fundamental laws of the universe. They knew the exact size of the Earth, its rotational speed, and
the speed of light itself. The mathematics are woven into its fabric.
The ratio of its height to its perimeter gives you pi.
The proportions of its inner chambers whisper of the golden ratio.
This structure isn't on the Earth. It is of the Earth, a harmonic representation of the planet's mathematics.
Sappho, pinned to the galaxy by the speed of light, the narrative of a tomb simply evaporates.
You are standing inside a piece of data.
So, where is the proof of the builders? Not the advanced unknown intelligence, but the thousands of laborers the official story relies on. You're walking now, down the impossibly precise descending passage, your hand brushing against stone that feels machine cut.
You are looking for the human touch, the flaw, the signature of the hand that carved it.
You find nothing. This is the silence of the builders. The most profound mystery of Giza isn't just how they built it.
A project like the Great Pyramid, allegedly taking 20 years and 100,000 workers, would have been the largest construction site in human history.
It would have produced mountains of debris, mountains of broken tools, millions of copper chisels worn down to nothing.
Shattered stone hammers, miles of discarded rope. They have found none. Archaeologists point to a nearby workers' village. But the scale is wrong. It's too small. Fortunes. And many researchers suggest it was a support town built after the main pyramids were already ancient.
There is no evidence of the industrial-scale logistics required for the primary construction.
And the errors. Where are the human errors? When you build with your hands, you make mistakes.
A chisel slips. A block is cut too short. A corner isn't quite 90 degrees. You look at the joints in the Grand Gallery, the perfect interlocking stones. There are no corrections,
No patches, no close enough moments. It's sterile. The precision is relentless. It suggests a process that was not trial and error, but a perfectly executed plan, manufactured and
but the most deafening silence is the lack of records. The ancient Egyptians were obsessive record keepers.
They carved hieroglyphs detailing crop yields, tax collection, religious spells, and the lineages of kings. Yet, for the Great Pyramid, the supposed crowning achievement of their civilization,
There is not one single papyrus, not one hieroglyphic text, not one blueprint that describes its construction.
The quarry marks found in the relieving chambers? Many analysts argue these are graffiti, not a builder's signature, added millennia later.
the builders left no diary, no instruction manual, no tools. They left only the perfect object.
This isn't just a missing piece of the puzzle. This is the evidence of absence.
It points away from a human workforce and toward a silent, precise, and utterly alien method of creation.
You are told to believe in brute force. You are shown images of thousands of men, sweating and chanting.
The official narrative relies entirely on one concept: the ramp. Now, you are standing 200 feet up.
Try to visualize the ramp theory, not as a cartoon, but as an engineering problem.
To get that single 70-ton block here, you would need a ramp. A simple, straight ramp reaching this height was...
It would have required more material and more man-hours to build than the pyramid itself.
So, perhaps a spiral ramp wrapping around the structure? Imagine trying to turn a 70-ton block.
It's physically absurd. The logistics crumble under basic scrutiny.
And what about the force required? Physicists have calculated the sheer number of Latino men needed just to overcome the
Now apply that to 70 tons. You would need thousands of men for one block. Where do they stand? How do they coordinate?
The theory of ramps and ropes isn't just inefficient, it's a violation of logistics. It's impossible physics.
This is where the paradigm must shift. What if the builders didn't fight gravity? What if they controlled it?
Researchers, the ones who bring signal generators instead of brushes, have found that this room is a finely tuned resonator.
It amplifies specific, very low frequencies, a deep F-sharp, according to some.
What if this wasn't a burial chamber, but an acoustic tool? Ancient legends from Tibet.
It sounds like science fiction, until you look at modern acoustic levitation, where sound waves can suspend small objects. What if the Great Pyramid is a massive, industrial-scale version of that?
What if the chambers and shafts were acoustic resonators, designed to create a field of energy that
Then there's the other possibility. You look at the polygonal masonry at sites like the Serapeum, the irregular. They don't look cut, they look softened, as if the edges were melted and fused together. Was there another lost technology, a chemical process, an acoustic frequency that could temporarily change the state of stone itself?
making it pliable, like clay, before it rehardened?
The builders weren't just architects. They were master physicists who understood the harmonic relationship between matter and sound.
So, if it's an acoustic device, what is its tuning? What is its purpose? The official story needs this to be a sarcophagus. But it's crude. It's unfit. The lid is missing, and it's made of a different, harder granite. It makes no sense until you...
It rings like a massive crystal bell, emitting a profound, resonant frequency.
It's not a box for a body. It's a tuning fork. It's the final component in a resonant circuit. And why would these shafts, only inches wide, be aligned with astronomical precision, pointing directly at...
They aren't for air. They are waveguides,
They are targeting mechanisms designed to lock onto a frequency.
This is the aha moment. This is the machine revealed. You are not standing in a tomb. You are standing in the engine room.
The entire structure, this 6 million ton mountain of stow, is a technological device.
This is our plant.
The pyramid is built upon a massive aquifer. Water flowing through subterranean channels creates powerful.
The pyramid is designed to draw this energy upward. The materials are not random. They are conductors.
The granite is rich in quartz crystal, which is piezoelectric. It creates an electric charge when squeezed by pressure or vibration.
The King's Chamber and its 70-ton beams are the heart of this piezoelectric transducer.
The Grand Gallery, with its corbelled walls, acts as a massive resonator, amplifying the frequencies.
The pyramid wasn't a passive monument. It was an active, coupled oscillator.
Draw in that energy, convert it, and broadcast it.
The cold, sterile feeling you felt on the plateau, the buzz in the air, it's not your imagination. It is the ghost of the machine.
This tomb was an engine designed to power an entire civilization. The energy that cut the stones was generated by the stones. You look up at the flattened summit of the Great Pyramid. It is incomplete. The capstone. Tradition says it was stolen. But you know that in a machine of this magnitude, nothing is decorative.
Imagine a pyramidion made of pure gold or electrum, a perfect conductor. You place that on top of a charge.
What happens? You are visualizing the activation. The telluric energy from the aquifer pumps up through the stone, amplified by the resonant chambers, focused by the granite lens, and hitting that gold capstone. The result is not silence. It is a massive release of energy.
Some physicists, inspired by the work of Nikola Tesla, believe the Great Pyramid was a geomechanical version of his Wardenclyffe Tower.
A global utility grid, thousands of years before we invented the wire.
But look closer at the alignment again. The shafts.
Why lock the targeting mechanisms onto Orion and Sirius with such fanatic precision?
The energy wasn't just going out into the atmosphere. It was being directed up.
This changes everything. It shifts the purpose from terrestrial utility to interstellar necessity.
In the 1970s, NASA launched the Voyager probes with golden records, hoping someone would find them.
What if they built a transmitter capable of sending a signal faster than light, using the Earth itself as the battery?
Or perhaps the rabbit hole goes even deeper. You consider the sheer intensity of the
The granite in the King's Chamber is 55% silicon quartz crystal.
Is it possible that Stargate wasn't just a movie?
The ancient texts don't call this a tomb. They call it a place of ascension. The pharaohs didn't die here. The ancient texts don't call this a tomb. They call it a place of ascension.
We interpreted this as religious metaphor.
Was this a device not just for communication, but for transportation? A portal where matter is converted to energy, beamed to the coordinates locked in by the shafts, and reassembled across the cosmos?
The structure is a lens. The Earth is the power source. The stars are the destination. It wasn't built to keep a dead body in. It was built to let something, or someone, out.
You are walking out of the Great Pyramid now. The sunlight hits your face. but the shadow of the machine still looms over you. You look back at this behemoth and realize something terrifying. It isn't broken. It isn't a ruin. It is simply off. The evidence of its operation, and perhaps its catastrophic shutdown, is still inside.
Archaeologists scrubbed them clean in the early 20th century, but early explorers reported seeing deep scorch marks on the lime.
This suggests an overload, a moment in history where the energy grew too great, or the load was removed too quickly.
Light, causing a massive discharge that fried the internal components.
Go back to the Queen's chamber.
At the end of one, robotic explorers found a small stone door with corroded copper handles. Electrodes? Terminals? Inside these shafts, and on the walls of the chamber, researchers found thick layers of salt and chemical residue.
This wasn't incense. This was the byproduct of a chemical reaction. Hydrogen gas? Electrolysis?
The chassis is still here. The motherboard, the granite, is intact. The power source, the Earth itself, is still humming.
It is a dormant beast. The physics haven't changed. The piezoelectric properties of the quartz haven't faded.
The alignment to the stars is still drifting, waiting for the great cycle to bring the target back into the crosshairs.
You leave the plateau with a lingering question. If this is a machine, where is the switch? Is it a missing object? A specific sound frequency? Or is it waiting for a specific time?
Perhaps it is a piece of technology left in standby mode, waiting for a civilization advanced enough to understand the manual.
Or for the return of the hand that holds the key.
The wind blows across the Giza Plateau, carrying the same sand that buried these secrets for millennia.
We came looking for a tomb, but we found a legacy, written in the language of physics and light. You now see these structures not as piles of rock, but as the crowning achievement of a forgotten science. We are a species with amnesia, walking through the ruins of our own greatness,
Mistaking our ancestors' power plants for their gravestones. The Great Pyramid stands as a challenge to our arrogance.
It asks us to look beyond the chisel and the hammer, to a time when humanity, or something else.
The machine sleeps, silent and imposing. But as you turn to leave, you can't shake the feeling that the story isn't over.
The message is there, carved in granite, waiting for us to finally remember how to read it.